Warning, this podcast contains strong, offensive and misogynistic language that some listeners may find offensive. The name's Vert. Percival Reginald Vert, and I run the P.I Detective Agency. The year is 2055 and the police have been defunded, so if you need a police investigation, the cops will charge you 1,000 big ones a day. Because of this, the government introduced the P.I Act, where the private investigators can undercut the police so justice can become affordable. These are my case files. Hi there, Percival Vert Detective Agency, Horney speaking, how can I help? Hey Horney, it's me, it's Richard from Lapland. Oh, hi Richard, how are you doing? Not good. We just had the place smashed up, and a lot of people, they just beat up a lot of my dancers, and they're demanding protection money, and I just need help from people to stop this from happening again. Right, well, I'll definitely make sure that we're on the case. I need someone there today because they're coming back in a couple of hours' time, okay? Right, well, I'll see what I can do because the boys, they're all out the office at the moment, and I'll have to try and get them back, okay? Okay, brilliant. Well, quick question, why are you changing it to Horney? Because Elizabeth is not a good name. I like being called Horney because I have 4 horns, 2 in the head. Yeah, I know, and 2 on your lower back. It looks really good when you used to dance for me. Yeah, well, I don't dance no more. I'm a gumshoe now. A gumshoe? It's a shame. Hey, well, don't worry about that. Just worry about looking after yourself, looking after the girls, and I'll be there with the boys soon enough. Okay, thanks a lot, Horney. It's not a problem. I'll get the boys on the line, and we'll get round as soon as we can. Okay, bye. Bye. Hey sugar, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm kind of real tied up at the moment. Yeah? In what way? Well, we got someone that's been sudding himself in public. Sudding himself in public? Yeah, he's basically a flasher that just turns up to supermarkets and whatnot. Just has no clothes on apart from his jacket, and then starts getting soapy water and just starts touching himself with the soapy water. That's absolutely gross. Yeah, I know it is. Right, so are you able to come and work on a case today? Not possible. I have not got anywhere near him, and I don't want this slippery bastard to slip out of my fingers, okay? Ah, okay. What about a little bastard? Well, he's on doggy return duties. Okay, he's tied up all day. Ah, but I've kind of promised someone that would be there. Well, you have to either unpromise or do it yourself. Okay? But it might be a bit tricky, this job. Well, it's either do it yourself, or outsource someone, or just let the job go, okay? You can't, I can't give up this job. I'm on the job now, and little bastard's got a van full of fucking dogs to return because we want to get rid of these animals, and we're just going through them really quickly because we don't do animals no more, okay? And it has to be done. Okay, sweetheart. Okay, well, love you, babes, and I'll catch up with you later. Okay, no worries. Hi Alexa, I've got a problem. Yeah, So, all the boys are out, and I've taken on a job that I can't do on my own. Yeah, it's a protection racket, and I've got to break it. Yeah, they're going to be back in a couple of hours' time. Yeah. Yeah. Lapland. Yeah, I know, remember Lapland? We used to have so much fun there when you was on the door. Yeah. Yeah, they just called in a favour. Okay. Thank you. I'll see you in a little bit. Well, would you believe that? She's going to do it for free. She hasn't been in a fight in a while. Ah. That's what you have when you have a good friend as a psychopath. Okay. So there I was in my Daisy Dukes with some nice thigh-high boots, and I was wearing a low cut top, just like Alexa, because she kind of told me to just wear what she would wear, just so it looks like we're together, that we're like bounty hunters or something like that. Oh, I don't know her reason, but she asked me to just dress as though I was Alexa as well. And there she was, all stunning, in her Daisy Dukes, her thigh-high boots, and her bikini top. She's just wearing a bikini top. It's the middle of winter, and we're both a bit freezing, but once we were inside, it was okay. There it was, a massive shithole. They just about straightened up the furniture in Lapland after it's been all brutalised and kicked over. The bar was just covered in glass, which is just being swept up right now as we speak. And then the manager came over. Hey, thanks for coming. I thought you said that you're going to bring the boys. Oh, don't worry, me and Alexa here. You remember Alexa, don't you? She used to be on the door here. Yeah, I remember Alexa. She caused more trouble than what she solved. Yeah, well, don't worry about that. Yeah. Okay, no worries. As long as you guys think you can handle this. I don't, but we'll see. You know, we've got no choice now. Hey, don't doubt us. Me and this one here. We're more than enough. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So there was me and Alexa just sat at a table, looking all pretty. We were just minding our own business as the lap dancer started up with the clients as the doors reopened. And not much was happening. You could see a few girls gyrating in front of these sad, pathetic men. And there's Alexa just polishing her gun barrels. And I'm like, well, please don't be butchering people today. And she just looked at me, had a dirty smile on her face. Yeah, she nodded. She said to me, look, don't worry about that. If they get shot, then that's their own problem. At the end of the day, this guy's insured, and these assholes, they're just be out there, okay? Okay, I said. What else can I do? A few minutes later, the doors were kicked open. All these men just barreled in with their 2x4s. And I looked at them. They looked at me. They looked at Alexa, and Alexa just looked and smiled. She had that sadistic smile, like I've seen before. Mainly when we've been on a night out and she gets wound up and beats the shit out of some guy that tries it on with her. But no, this smile was her smile for I'm going to just eat you alive. And I kind of liked it. I wish I could have a smile like that. As the gang leader came up to the front of this gang, you had Alexa walk up to him, holding a bottle of champagne as she was just glugging it down. Wow. She had more balls than most men. The man went up to her, asked her to stand aside, and she said, no, you stand aside. I'm going to have you. And the gang leader, He's like, what? Like, fuck me. And Alexa's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you, but not the way you think. And I was like, oh yeah, here we go. And out of my handbag came 2 knuckle dusters, and I put a duster on each hand, because I knew exactly what Alexa was going to do before she did it. And there she was. She finished nicking this bottle of champagne, and the champagne bottle just, I could see it in slow motion, just cascaded from right to left, because Alexa, she's left-handed. And it slowly connected with the cheek of that lead guy as she got the bottle all the way to her left side, and he started to go down in super slow motion. Alexa followed through with the bottle in the air and brought it right down on his head as he was going towards the floor, and it smashed. The bottle smashed everywhere in slow motion. All these goons, they just looked in absolute horror. The horror was on their face, just kind of like turned me on. In the same way how I know it just turned Alexa on, as she had the remnants of this bottle, which is now a load of jagged shards, and she forced it into the face of this lead gangster, and she retracted it and shoved it in a couple more times, made him look like a jigsaw that's got kicked across the floor. Wow, I could feel my nipples tingle. This pure violence has just started to turn me on. In the same way how Alexa, I could tell she was getting turned on by this, because she made a sex noise as the last jab went into this guy's face as he died in front of her. A 2x4 came towards Alexa in slow motion, and she just snapped it in half with her left hand as she put her hand right through that plank as though it wasn't even there. And in the same motion, she pulled her gun out from her right breast holster, pulled her gun out, and started shooting all these men in the dick. Wow. I went up and followed through, and anyone that was on the floor holding a groin got my knuckle duster in their chops. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and there I could see Alexa. Her nipples just started to poke through her bikini top, and wow, I could see that she was really turned on by this absolute violence, like it was having an effect on me. Wow. I went over, my boot stiletto into the side of this man's face, and then carried on smacking him with my knuckle dusters as blood splattered everywhere. There's only 2 of these boys left, and one of them threw a table towards me, hit me, and I hit the floor. Alexa, she got another table, picked it up, and hurled it across the room towards this bastard that got me. Oh, it clipped him right in the neck and sent him down like a sack of shit. I dusted myself off, picked up a bar stool, and hurled that across the room at the guy that was covered by a table. "Hey, have a seat with that, you fucking bastard," I said. I didn't know where it came from. I just started swearing my head off, like I'd never sworn before. My sexy Percival, he would be so impressed by this. I know he would. I know he would. For some reason, I could just feel my hand going down the back of my Daisy Dukes and my thong, and out came my cutthroat razor. I flicked it out, and then went up to the guy that was covered by the furniture and slashed him in the cheek, and slashed him again, putting a massive X across his face. And there he was, bleeding out of his face like a cunt on a period. Wow. I got my razor, flicked the blood off it, flicked the blade away, and put it back down in the pouch just by my knickers. Alexa showed me that trick many times on a night out, and she always advised me to carry something like that just in case someone tried to do something real nasty towards me, so I can always just chop their dick off. But hey, there it was, and there was one last guy left. Both me and Alexa stood over this guy that was just cowering on the floor, He'd not even been hit yet. He had my boots just on one side of his head, and he had Alexa's boots on the other side of his head. We were both looking down, and I knew he could kind of see up my Daisy Dukes, and he could probably see up Alexa's Daisy Dukes too. I looked at Alexa. She looked at me. She had a really dirty laugh on her, as though she was up to something, and I laughed knowing that she was up to something. And out from her knickers, she got her cutthroat razor. He lowered herself down, so he could see nothing but her cleavage and her blade, as it went up to his throat. Hey sweetheart, you go tell your boss that he needs to pay me protection money. Do you understand, you piece of shit? He nodded in fear. He didn't say anything. And then Alexa got the razor and cut him a reminder in his chin. A nice little gash appeared, and yet again he bled out like a cunt on a period too. Wow. He was alive, and he was alive enough to see a message and pass their message on. Alexa used that coward's t-shirt to wipe the blade clean, and she put her blade back in her knickers. We approached the horrified manager of Lapland and pressed the button on the till to eject some receipt. I ripped the receipt off, grabbed the pen, and wrote my invoice. There you go, sweetheart, I said. You got 30 days to pay up, and we'll be back soon enough. Thank you, he said, as he started to shit his pants. I'll be paying that as soon as I can, okay? I'll be sending that money into Mr. Vert's account. Yeah, you do that. And just remember one thing, yeah? If I'm like this without my lover, imagine what I'm like with my lover. Both Alexa and I went back to the office, and the boys have still not been back. So I opened up Percival's personal rum collection, and both Alexa and I had a nice little session whilst we waited for the boys to come home. Thank you for listening to Gumshoe. Percival Vert will be back with another case file next week. If you enjoyed today's content, why not check out our other fictional podcast, a tribute to men that hate their jobs. This podcast is about a man that is trapped in a job he hates because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We also have 30 Years Since, which is a sci-fi podcast set in a post-alien invasion Earth. Both links are in the description below. Musterxmedia also has a YouTube channel called The X Review, where Paul reviews and reacts to a different music video each and every day. The link is also in the description below. Don't forget to follow Musterxmedia on Facebook, Gab, Twitter and Parler. Once again, the links are in the description below. Thank you, and we shall catch you soon.